Welcome back, everybody, to the neverlastracing versus CPI team event. We've just had some technical difficulties, as anybody familiar with the game will recognise. We're just rebuilding the lobby with a custom grid wheel. We'll be back to racing very soon. 27 laps around Monza. It just takes our host a few minutes to reassemble the grid. Hopefully they can use the old stream or use a screenshot of the grid that we had, and we will be back underway with you very shortly. Ivan's rejoined. He's got back into the lobby, and it looks like we're good to go, Ivan.
Yeah, welcome to Fire NLR versus CPI 5v5 take 2 around Monza.
Yes, indeed. As I say, a common issue, but this one was down to I think Phelan and Abzi being unable to control their cars from the actual grid start. We've got 5 NLR drivers. We've got 2 NLR spectators. We've got 4 CPI drivers so far. So one more to go, while the starting order is begun for everybody.
Wow. I don't know who's missing.
Here we go. Oh no, that's Lesty. That's one of the CPI admin, I think. So just waiting on that one driver to come.
Was it Razorback? Yeah, Razorback.
There we go. Razorback. Hopefully we'll remember to put the mediums on, and everyone, I must just must warn everybody to remember their setups, because so often we do a restarted lobby, Ivan, and someone will forget their setup.
That happened to me quite a few times as well.
Yes.
So, guys, if you're listening to the stream, I think you do, and I think you do. For your own sake, don't forget to load your setup.
Yes, you certainly don't want to be. You don't want to be going around Monza on default balance setup, do you?
Well, I was trying to do that around Silverstone, like by accident back on F1 2020 in CLE, but in Division 3, the race wasn't streamed, but yeah, that didn't end well. I think I collided with Bruno, who was my teammate for that race, like in first couple of corners, so yeah, there was no point of trying it.
So have you done any of these kind of 5 versus 5 events yourself?
No, I did not.
They're very interesting. It's a great way of going about racing. I know what we're trying to do is to maybe go with 3 teams or even 4 teams at a time.
No. I think it's better to keep it like this.
You think 2 versus 2, yeah?
Yeah, because bigger field means a bigger chance of safety car, and there's no point of race, and there's not much room for racing then.
No,
But,
that's true.
Well, if the rosters are good when it comes to quality, the race can be good, even good with, I don't know, full grid. Well, we didn't do team events like in ARL around Baku, and we know what happened. I think you'll remember that race for quite a while. So will I.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, Monza usually claims an awful lot of victims in races that I've commentated on. However, starting with 10 drivers reduces that chance, and giving out points for everybody, and the pressure of performing for your team and bringing points home for the team tends to keep drivers pushing as much as they can. It's a balancing act. It's risk versus reward. I think we're going to have dry weather. That's one question I didn't get. I didn't get it to ask or get answered. Was the weather forecast? But looks like a typical Italian racing afternoon of bright sunshine.
Yep.
All the drivers made it to the grid, and they're away on their formation lap.
So for those who didn't watch the first stream or who tuned in late, they can repeat the starting grid. So Axel starts on pole from Airpack. So NLR front row lockout. On third place is Neymar make for CPI. Then it's Frankie for NLR. Fifth is Felon for NLR again. Then 6 to 9 are all in order CPI drivers. So Hecht in 6th, Noah J in 7th, Jandrik in 8th, Razorback in 9th on medium tires, and on last place is Abzi who didn't manage to set a good lap.
Yeah, and I think Abzi will have a bit more pace when it comes to the race. Usually moves up the order, does Abzi. I wouldn't expect to see him at the back. So someone has to be at the back though, of course. And they won't feel like it's their normal place, whoever it is. But NLR in a good position off the grid, but we've got 27, hopefully 27 racing laps to run to decide which team can put in the best overall race time. So I think I've got to back NLR for the win tonight. Ivan, what do you think? I know you've had a bit more time with the CPI guys. You've seen a lot more of those guys racing.
Trust me, I saw more NLR guys than CPI.
Okay.
I raced from CPI. I only raced against maybe Hecht, and I raced against Noah Jehu in TTML F5. But from NLR guys, I obviously raced against some of them. Felon, I think I raced only against Felon in this roster. Because I'm in obviously in VSRL, that's basically the league owned by NLR, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyways, let's focus on the race.
Absolutely. We've got the starting lights coming on. It's lights out. We've got a short pause while it syncs up, and away we go with NLR away fairly smoothly. Nothing too dramatic going on. It looks like Abzi getting away beautifully from the back. And I think, is that Neymar going to challenge down the inside of the Rettifilio chicane? Little bit of contact that should favour Neymar on the way out. And Neymar up to P2 with Erpik and Frankis behind them. What are you seeing from the back, Oven? Any action back there?
Abzi made a great start, overtook 3 cars in just 2 corners, and quite hard break. Someone braked quite a bit in front of Abzi. I think it was one of his teammates. Abzi had to take avoiding actions, leading him to last place again.
Back of the grid again for Abzi. Even despite that great launch he had, Neymar doesn't want to let Axel get away with it as he did in the first race start that we had. And looks like Neymar getting the fastest middle sector of the drivers so far. And we will see a lot of track limits abuse going on tonight, especially through the exit of Ascari, and that hopefully won't complicate our race order too much. But it's Axel from Neymar, Erpik and Frankis after the first lap.
So yeah, it's gonna be tougher for Axel right now, because in last race before late he had Erpik protection as Neymar goes down the inside of Rettifilio, and he makes the move 6, so lead for CPI.
Axel yielded there. He didn't try and go around the outside and try and go to a decreasing gap. He's being patient. He knows there's plenty of laps left to run as he makes a little move up the inside. Doesn't make the move stick. Oh, round goes. Round goes. Felon out now.
Awful day for Felon, VSC.
Absolutely. Felon tried to keep his foot in around, I think it was Hecht, into Della Roggia, and turned around a la Sebastian Vettel versus Lewis Hamilton those years ago, lost out from the outside move. If the outside driver is ahead, you really have to back out. There's no way through. But unfortunately, that's Felon out. I doubt we'll be going for a restart after that. That wasn't anyone's it wasn't any glitch fault of anybody's. Felon down to a DNF, no finish, no points, of course, for a DNF either. So NLR with second, third, and fourth places under this VSC. We go green now, and
behind Razorback.
Brilliant.
Great.
Let's go back there and have a look.
Noah overtakes Hendrik, so little couple of places for CPI.
Abzi will want to get past this medium shod Razorback as soon as possible, otherwise the field is going to get away from him very quickly. Abzi just 1/10 behind. Razorback going to the middle of the track through Curva Grande.
Using the red.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to move on Hendrik, but he's still a bit too far.
Lap 3, Neymar leads by 6/10 from Axel, Erpik and Frankis, and then Hector, Noah, Jendrik, Razorback, and we ride with Abzi right now, trying to hassle the back of Razorback. Will be saving some ERS, be waiting for DRS to be enabled and operational, with Razorback a little bit further back. We'll go back up towards the front.
I think fake alert, I saw someone went up at some point, but no, everything's clear.
All good as they head into Parabolica for the third time. Axel just 4/10 off the lead now. Abzi just a quarter of a second behind Razorback. Axel has got an opportunity, gets the inside line. Will he get past before the braking zone? Nice and safely done. He just needs to get the car stopped to the apex, and a clean move shows that patience pays virtue when you race as cleanly at the back of the pack.
For CPI, Razorback.
Oh wow, so Razorback getting past Jendrik, which is not ideal for Jendrik's strategy.
And in the end, Abzi is quite close, trying to make a move down the inside of Roger. With too much curb.
Can't get by, can he?
Yep, hard to do it.
Yeah, the CPI drivers just holding off Abzi, taking turns to block him legally, of course, but Abzi struggling to get by, and of course he'll just get attacked the minute he does get by as well. So Razorback and Jendrik doing their best to pull each other along. I think Neymar's close again as they head towards Parabolica, and I think we might see another slipstream move. I think this is going to be something that we see a lot of through this race. DRS pass before the lead. He's almost passed before the DRS zone as Axel lets him go, tucks back in, and another change for the lead on lap 5.
Well, they didn't choose Monza to race on Monza for no reason.
Yeah. So it looks like Razorback just defending from Jendrik that time, or at least blocking, but gets the chicane all wrong this time. Again, Abzi blocked on the way out, but he looks like he's got a good run on Razorback, and he's passed already. Now Abzi looking at Jendrik's car. Jendrik right in the middle of the track, and that was perfect defense, Ivan.
Yeah, really great defense, but he clipped a bit of grass, which unsettled his car on the way towards Lesmo.
Oh, too wide into Lesmo too. Wow, Abzi just rubbed the tyre on the way through. They didn't want to give racing room, either of them particularly, but Jendrik especially holding off Abzi. We just see Phelan leaving the session. Obviously he retired early on.
I think he'll want to forget this day and race.
He will, yeah. But CPI with the lead, and
I think
the share of the points at the moment, I think. But yeah, Axel looking lively on the DRS. Will we go for another pass? Yes, we do, using all of the road, the pit lane exit. Going to go around the outside, but Neymar keeps his foot in. There'll be good traction out of here for Axel. He stays ahead, and now Erpik looking like he wants a piece of this action.
Oh, Abzi, or someone spun, maybe, yeah. Or no, I don't know if Jens spun or something, but that's just fine.
Wow, Neymar ran the outside of the exit of
Wow.
Della Roggia made that move work by just being that half a car length ahead, and Axel back into second place again. I think we've seen about 4 or 5 changes for the lead on by lap 6 here.
Yeah, it's not like a NASCAR race and not a fun race in modern days. But yeah, really great stuff here around Monza.
Fantastic. Axel then trying to use the slipstream as much as possible from the back of a Neymar. How soon do you think these soft tyres are gonna start nearing the cliff for the drivers, Ivan?
Well, they'll last quite a bit longer than in original lobby, that's for sure, because
Yes.
those are clean softs, and not those ones like in qualifying, as Airpec is trying to make a double move.
He's got double DRS. Oh, tried to step across the braking zone and just touched Neymar. Looks like he's managed to get away through Curva Grande. He'll be ahead. But yeah, it looked like he was trying to close off Neymar, and they just touched in the braking zone. That could have been a lot more dangerous than it ended up being.
Oh, this
another
is really
move.
Close.
Yeah, I think we're heading for danger here. We're heading for an accident. So less than a second separating the top 3, less than half a second sometimes separating the top 3 drivers. And Neymar on the defensive. He's the meat in an LLR sandwich right now. NLR first, third, fourth and 7th, and should be slightly ahead on points from Neymar, Hecht, Noah, Jendrik and Razorback further back. But we've got a long way to run in this race. We've got pit stops, potential undercuts. We've got any further caution periods. I know we've had one VSC, but we'll be lucky if we survive without one. But it's a battle of 3 groups at the moment. We've got the leading 3, then the following 2 CPI cars on the track map, then a battle between Abzi and Jendrik, and Razorback on medium tyres is falling back already.
I think Razorback is in the AI for some reason, or he was in AI but he lost so much time. Neymar took the lead back from Airpec as they are fighting, and they also
Whoa.
contact Jendrik in pits.
Wow, okay, so Jendrik then deciding that lap 7 is the best time to go for a new set of boots. He goes for medium tyres.
Different thing. Didn't manage to catch it, sorry for that.
Yeah, well, Neymar is back in the lead from Erpik, Axel and Frankis, and they've now making it into what will be a 4-way battle for the lead.
Will Erpik try to make a move on the way to Ascari? I don't think he'll go for risk.
Yeah, there's not quite enough braking to be done through Ascari unless you're already ahead. Everybody making it through there safely. Noah with the first penalty of the race so far. So lap 8 for the first penalty. We're doing very well. Neymar hogging the middle of the track as usual. I wonder if any of our drivers here will decide to go into the pits. Yeah, look, here comes Axel. Axel in the pits going for an undercut. I wonder if this one's going to work for him.
Also Noah closing up on Hecht.
And Erpik passed for the lead. Ivan, they go side by side, cooperating with each other, and it looks like Erpik might get ahead on the way through to Curva Grande, and he needs to take the middle of the track now, just like Neymar's been doing, and defend from that inside move, and does so. Just dissuades him enough. Might have caused a warning going across the entry apex there for Della Roggia.
Apparently not only invalidated lap time. Well, interesting stuff.
Yes.
As Neymar has one warning for track limits, but he got it back in lap 6.
Looks like Axel has got a good window there, Ivan. He's come out with 3.5 seconds of clear air to try and make the best out of this undercut.
Good decision by Axel, as it seems at the moment.
Yep.
Really plenty of clean air, and we know how. I think we saw how big Axel's space is.
In comes Neymar then, defending from Axel's undercut. the two NLR leaders now, Erpik and Frankis, will take the front of the field, and Erpik might well stay out a little bit longer just to try and defend.
I'm just gonna follow Axel. Will he get Neymar?
It's definitely the question here. I think he will. He's at full speed. They're heading down towards the first corner.
Oh,
This is side by side. And how about that for an undercut? He's gained 2 places, Axel. Did he make a mistake?
Slight drift. Took too much curb on the entry to Retifilio. Now Neymar is having a go.
Oh yeah, he gets by, yeah, very nicely. It looked like Axel had to lift there with Neymar sort of drifting across the track in Curva Grande. Axel will be on alert now that Neymar doesn't mind driving with the elbows out. Is not afraid of squeezing another driver. So live points will be coming to us as soon as the first pit stops are done, says Harley. But Axel looking to retaliate, or at least slow down Neymar and help his other 2 teammates defend from Neymar's undercut attempt. That could well be pretty key here.
Noah goes in pits from 3rd place.
So Noah, where will he come out? I'm sure he'll come out behind this battle, but will he get ahead of Hecht and Jendrik?
Getting moments up to 3rd. Razorback, maybe he can profit from this, because he wasn't AI, but he still on turns that can last longer.
Axel going for a lunge? No. Oh, just being very active in the mirrors of Neymar's car, and these guys will be catching Razorback pretty soon. I'm surprised to see one of Erpik and Frankis not decide to pit here, but they're both obviously feeling quite comfortable on their tyres.
Yeah, I mean, it's about driver's preference, so I don't think they'll stay out on track for quite long.
Yeah. The mediums will be better over a longer stint, but be less and less useful the longer you stay on those softs for. They of course have to change compound and have to make at least 1 pit stop.
I'm gonna go to Erpik, see if he pits now. There's him or Frankis, so Erpik stays out. Frankis goes to pits, goes to pits.
Okay, we'll see whether Frankis has been able to put in enough good laps on the soft tyres, while Axel makes himself very visible in Neymar's mirrors. And we'll see where he comes out of the pits. You can obviously follow along on the track map. I'm pretty sure these two are going to get by him in the pits here, but
yeah, I think they will. Yeah,
past they go. Axel to the inside.
Axel, quite risky. If he went for a bit earlier, that will be a massive T-bone crash.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, using the pit lane is not great, and Neymar just very, very late on the brakes into Retifilio. Now they head through Curva Grande. Axel ahead, using the middle of the track, using the left-hand side of the track, the inside line.
Oh,
they touch, they interlock wheels. Axel giving as good as he gets, and these two drivers definitely in a battle with each other now. They, I think the respect has gone, don't you, Ivan?
Yeah. Well, it's for me it will be all hard racing, but the gloves surely came off.
Yeah.
Neymar gets him on the way to Ascari.
It's all going to be about who's got the weapons left at the end of the race, who's got tyres, and who has got ERS, I think, as to who can make the final move. It's a little bit like an Indy 500 race. Potentially the worst place you want to be on the penultimate lap is in the lead. But we've got a little way to go before we get there. We're not quite halfway. We haven't had all of our pit stops. Erpik, Abzi and Razorback yet to pit. Just the one penalty so far.
Then using the pit lane, yeah, Noah on one penalty. So I want to mention that really clean and action-packed race.
Absolutely. It looks like Axel going through Retifilio, Ivan, with a little bit more of a a little bit more of a line that just discourages a move from Neymar. Less defensive, more just decisive.
Well, yeah, I think those two guys still didn't show everything what they've got in their sleeves. I think they still have one of the aces in their sleeve.
Yeah.
It's like a poker game. You save the best for last, and very basic on that. I'm not playing poker. I'm just, yeah.
Axel getting away a little bit out of Lesmo too there. I don't know if he used a little bit of ERS just to gap Neymar. I wonder how much these two drivers are slowing each other down, battling.
So we'll see when he'll come out. Probably they'll overtake him.
Erpic pits now onto medium tyres. He's already left the box, but he'll be waiting for the speed limit line to come out. I think they've gone past.
Will he overcut them? He will. Wow.
Fantastic, as Neymar launches a speculative one too far back, and for once the move has ended up not working out for Neymar, who does a spin. But wow, what about that? What about that overcut from Erpic?
Yeah. Like I was quite surprised what he's saying on track that long, but it was obvious. Well, those two, those three guys were fighting at the back. Erpic had like nice cleaner. He could put consistent lap times.
Yeah.
And now he's already catch Razorback. So that's basically pretty much the lead is pretty much going back to Erpic. Well,
absolutely. Erpic now looking like, with Razorback probably heading towards almost the back of the field again, but he will have the soft tyres on relative to everybody else. Absi's got himself up to P5, so the remaining NLR drivers are all in a line second to fifth at the moment. Erpic's about to do something about that, I think. He's putting in he's got DRS, but it may be a little bit far back. He'll be good on the brakes on these new tyres.
A bit far back, yeah. I would say maybe on the way to Variante de la Roggia.
Or you know, struggling even not to run into the back of him on traction.
Yeah, because obviously Razorback is on quite huge start already. He should break. He needs to break a bit earlier to keep it on track. So
yeah,
quite a bit tough for Erpic.
Erpic just being patient at the moment, doesn't want to do anything too rash, certainly doesn't want to lose the chance of first position and lose track position with an error.
Try to overtake him now.
It's got to wait for a definite move, because Razorback could well be very, very defensive. And
another penalty.
Wow, yeah, Alnova with the second penalty of the race and the second penalty for himself. The only penalised driver, and I'm absolutely astonished about that so far. Normally we see a timing grid full of penalties, but it just goes to show what that team dynamic does for a driver's approach to a race, Ivan.
Yeah, it does. Obviously, it's quite a lot of pressure, but
oh, pit stop.
So, yeah, Razorback. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see where Razorback will come out. Probably down to last place or down at back. Obviously pitted meanwhile. I didn't notice that. So yeah, about that. What was we talking about? About that team event. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, of course, to bring the points to the team. Maybe it can eat, let's say, your physics, like physically, it can destroy you maybe. If you can crack under pressure and do some mistake. But it can also be useful because, of course, in these events, if you want to win, you have to work like a team. If you're a team, you have to work like a team, and
absolutely,
guys from NLR are doing that. And
they are absolutely. I mean, I think instruction will go now from the race engineers to Erpic, Axel, and Frankis to cooperate, pull themselves along, use DRS if they can get within DRS, and just keep them slipstreaming away because Neymar's got it all to do with a penalty, as you say. Neymar, the cost of that spin and well, slightly optimistic move, I guess, into the Rettifilia. The cost of that has been to lose 7.5 seconds on the drivers ahead. He'll get no DRS help to try and catch them. He's going to have to do this all with his own skill and neat driving, and unfortunately a penalty at this stage. So far an all NLR podium, but Abzi could really do with picking up a few places if at all possible as well.
Well, we'll see about that. Oh, yellow flags for one.
Yeah, this is Noah turned around in the Rettifilia. He's going through the polystyrene markers as we speak. Noah, yeah, making big problems for himself. And as we say, penalties, 6 seconds of penalties to Noah's game pushes him closer to Abzi, who's out there on very fresh mediums and will be strong towards the very end of our race. We've got 10 laps to go, but look to Razorback to be the one making the moves up the track because he's the only one on soft tyres now, of course. Harley, we're very grateful to Harley with Fast with a Calculator, as always, tells us that NLR currently on 61 points to CPI's 40. So that's how it will be if the race finishes the way it is at the moment. I do expect Razorback to be moving up, and I think the NLR trio at the front of the grid will be hoping to keep their positions, race within themselves, and take this a very famous victory. We've never had a team win with a 1-2-3, so that would be very interesting.
Yeah, it'll be kind of indication that the guys from NLR were really working as a team in this race. I repeat, yeah, if you want to win this kind of event, you have to work like a team, and if you are holding 1-3 with 9 laps to go, 9 or 10 laps to go, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, that's the proof that you're really working like a team, and that shows you how important teamwork here is. Because basically, maybe this just theory, but back when Axel and Neymar were just close, while they're fighting, I think, maybe this will be completely wrong, but I think Axel wants to fight Neymar like as much as possible.
Yeah.
Just to give an airpack good pit window and chance to overcut them, all of them.
Yeah.
So he can get the lead. Maybe
yeah.
That's my theory, but.
No, I think you're right. I think it was the right time for Axel to apply the pressure. Obviously, he will always want the lead of the race, but it was a good time to use the tools available to him. But if Neymar were in this battle, I think the points situation would look very different because Abs is right there around at the back. We lost Phelan very early, as you say, a race, a whole evening to forget for Phelan, but. With the NLR drivers fighting 4 versus 5, if Neymar were 2 places or 3 places higher, the points would be a very different picture.
Yeah, it'll be or on the side of CPI or like pretty even.
Yeah.
But now with that spin from Neymar, it's as you said a couple of minutes ago.
Axel's caught a penalty. That's not good for the team at all. Neymar has only managed to catch about half a second to the leading group, and he's actually getting further away from Hecht. The CPI team, despite being close on the grid, are not particularly close on the track. They're all spread out, and I think Abzi is starting to catch the tail runner. Razorback is 5.9 seconds behind Hecht. That might be a little bit too far to catch and then pass, but he does get fastest lap just as I speak. Yeah, so that'll be an extra point to add to their.
Someone Kim.
Yeah, speak and the Razorback will appear. It seems so. Fastest lap currently at 121.427. I don't think anybody else is likely to be able to challenge that because they're on the wrong tyre at this stage. And I don't think anyone is going to be going for a late pit stop. The only person that's likely to do a late pit stop would be Abzi if he doesn't manage to catch Jendrik.
But he's catching Jendrik, as far as I can see, and by quite a margin, I will say.
Looks like the drivers roughly racing where they qualified, with Razorback up 3 places. So that decision to start on mediums seems to be paying off at least through the first 2/3 of the race. 7 laps to go now with NLR all 3 at the front of the grid. But stay tuned, because as we've talked about in the build-up to the race, as we talk about every time the cars go to Monza, you're only a scurry away from a problem. Wow, and just as I say that, Noah out of the race there on the exit of Ascari. That's exactly as I was just saying. Anything can happen when it comes to racing around Monza and Ascari. We actually have a safety car.
Is back into the play.
No, you're right. Despite losing Noah, CPI will now be very much into play. I wonder if any of the drivers will make a move for a pit stop. And yes, Jendrik and Abzi go in. So does Razorback for fresh softs, presumably. But the leaders will not be able to go in until they get round. And I wonder whether anyone will choose soft tyres for the end. And we have a sprint.
Yeah,
what would you do here, Ivan?
Pretty much go on softs, because hardware is not that important, because it's only sprint, like 9 or 10 laps, 8 or 9 lap sprint until the end. So I will say 9 lap sprint, because they still didn't complete lap 21. So I will go for softs and try to gain as much as possible positions and time. So
yeah, Felix once saying this just got very interesting. You're not wrong. Absolutely looking forward to a battle to the end of this race. A restart could mean anything. Erpek goes in. What does Axel do? He does likewise. I think everyone
will go in.
Yeah, that's everybody in, I'm sure. Frankis on the way in. Of course, people could get the pit entry wrong here and get a 5-second penalty.
Quite a big stop from Neymar.
Yeah. So we know that Razorback, Jendrik and Abzi already pitted, but they're so far back on the track that that Erpek is already out of the box. The drivers probably won't action any overtakes before they get to the safety car, but let's wait for everyone to catch back up. And this is going to be something to watch. It's going to be like a 4 or 5 lap sprint to the finish, Ivan. It's almost like a 5-lapper.
This reminds me on CLE.
Yeah.
The Div 1 race at Monza. I remember. I don't know if you remember, but it was like pretty much even. Like it was similar amount of people. I think it was like 11 or 13 people. I know I was starting from last, and I got 3-4 finished at the end. So many people crashed out, and we had so many safety cars. And
absolutely.
Course,
it's anyone's game now, really. It really is anyone's game, and those penalties for Axel and Neymar will definitely be very difficult to gap the field for. Obviously, Erpek could do a favour to Axel and let him go, and let him get ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to check warnings again.
Yeah, great,
so
brilliant.
I don't have data for so Erpek. He just only has that invalidated lap time and no warnings, so
okay,
quite rare. Axel, he got penalty on lap 19 and got warning straight away on lap 20, so he has to be extra careful.
Wow.
To not gain 2 warnings in this sprint to the end, to not get even bigger amount of time penalties. Frankie's only has 1 warning during the entire race, so
very good.
really good job from Frankis. Neymar, like Axel, got penalty on lap 17, no, lap 16, I'm sorry, and got warning on lap 19, so he'll have to be careful to not get any more time penalties.
Yeah, and of course, as the cars start to battle on the restart, that's when penalties can start to, warnings and penalties can start to pick up. I think it's anybody's game for fastest lap as well, all on fresh softs to the end of this race. Hopefully the safety car will come in shortly and we'll get 4 laps of racing for you. A 5-second penalty for Frankis for a collision with Neymar. Neymar got one as well, and that's usually the fault of the driver behind running into them. They're not particularly close, Ivan. It's usually the fault of the driver behind that gets that one.
Maybe they tangled on some quite hard braking on some hard braking zone,
Yeah.
like especially on Variante de la Rocha or the way to first Lesmo. I don't see if maybe if airbag stops suddenly, then or maybe it's the post-chain reaction, and they get notifications if the car will be in this lap.
If you're the team boss here, Ivan, are you saying to Erpek, let Axel go and Frankis hold up the field?
So basically, Erpek did his James. But I will say yes, but obviously I'm not the guy who decides it. Those things are on Willow and on Harley.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, the guy's just driving, just having trouble restarting. Neymar has gone way off track. He's decided to come into the pits.
What's happening?
Is he quitting?
Maybe.
Is he quitting this? Speeding in the pit lane penalty, yeah.
He's quitting. I don't understand that decision.
I think just getting the restart wrong, although I have to say we had some very strongly varying speeds. A couple of times drivers appeared to have launched and then didn't.
He's serving time penalty, I think.
Okay.
Yep. He will wants to get rid of the time penalty. I don't know why, because it's quite late stage of the race, and you never know if Axel could get maybe Axel could get penalty. But maybe he moved all the way for Hecht. But after this restart, him and Razorback aren't that far off Frankis, who has the penalty.
I'm kind of surprised to see Hecht and Razorback not get a penalty for overtaking.
Penalty. As soon as you say.
Yeah, for overtaking Neymar under the safety car. No, actually, because Neymar was off track, I guess.
Yeah, because if you go off track, you don't get
I've just seen in the chat, Ivan, it's about front wing damage. After Neymar hit the back of Frankis, he had front wing damage, race over. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. In the first lap, 1:20.7. Really good lap time.
The problem is, as you were saying, is those penalties for Frankis and Axel. Now, I would expect that Frankis penalty to get deducted after the race because he was hit from behind. But if the steward decides that his behaviour was erratic, it will stay. So he's got the impossible task here of getting a 5-second gap in 2 laps in order to finish this race.
Yeah, really interesting and kind of problematic situation in NLR, because except Frankis, but maybe he can avoid getting his arm penalty.
Yeah.
That said, Axel, if he gets another one,
Abzi gets one as well, Ivan. Abzi just gets notified of a penalty going through Lesmos, and he'd just overtaken Jendrik. So Abzi will go back behind Jendrik here. We will see Razorback and Abzi finish level on penalties, I think. We've got 2 laps to run. I suppose we've still got 2 possible retirement zones of Ascari to run as well. But Erpek, on lap 25, has the lead from Axel and Frankis. Axel with another fastest lap. And then Hex Razorback.
From Erpek. Erpek had it on last lap, I think.
Oh, great. Okay. So trading fastest laps between the front 2, but Erpek's currently driving without penalty.
He lost it on the way from Retifilios. He had a big moment. I think he lost quite a bit of time.
Okay, interesting. Let's take a look then at the intervals. Yeah, Frankis is now 4 seconds ahead of Hecht, and and Axel is more than 3 seconds ahead of Hecht. So Axel holding on. Oh, big moment for Hecht, just struggling with the car. I don't know if his tyres are up to temperature or he's overheated them even, going off track.
Maybe in CPI they should consider letting the Razorback go.
Yeah.
The Razorback position Hecht, and as soon as I say it,
they need this to try and stay with Frankis, but of course Frankis has got a 5-second penalty and Razorback a 3. I would have to assume that the Frankis penalty will disappear after the race. But we will definitely, the steward will look into footage from both drivers. So we'll have to assume that that it's a provisional result tonight, whatever happens. Axel is looking to try and challenge for the lead here on the road.
oh,
Doesn't want to take a chance, really, does he? The last thing you want is them to crash into each other.
Well, you cannot say that. You can speak in my name because obviously I'm not NLR member or team boss. Obviously it will be bad for the race. Quite shocking because Razorback will have a chance to get a win, and he was in AI at some point.
Yep.
But say I don't want it because okay, I don't want it because when it comes to race, but when it comes to team, I don't have nothing to do with it because I'm not an NLR member or team owner.
Yes, no, indeed. Yeah, I try and be neutral as well. I'm not. I'm brought in by NLR, but and it's their hosted session, but I have no major affiliation. Axel is looking like he wants to try and prove a point coming into the end, but if he proves the point by pressuring Erpik into an accident, that will not go down well in the team debrief afterwards. It's looking like Erpik, though, without penalty, safely through Parabolica for the final time. Erpik will take the win, I think, by a photo finish from Axel over the line. NLR 1-2. Hecht after the penalties from Frankis, who got a late penalty, did he?
Yeah, unserved penalty because he didn't serve that 5.
Right. So, yeah, Erpik, Axel, Hecht, Razorback, Frankis, Jendrik, Abzi and Neymar. With us losing a car from each team, my feeling is that this goes to NLR, with the fastest lap point going to Neymar, who stayed in the game just long enough to catch that fastest lap, and he just crosses the line, and we finish off our finishing standings. Now, I think we will get a points update, and if NLR have won this as things stand, then any reversal of points will of penalties will be immaterial. Razorback with the driver of the day performance, and
no flag on podium.
Yeah, where we have NLR 1-2 and CPI on the third step. It's champagne time on the most famous podium ceremony of the calendar, and we've got different nations representing the top 3 as well.
You don't count Monaco, maybe. Yeah, those are pretty even.
Well, they have to celebrate off the podium at Monaco, and it's all quite muted because the royal family are there. But anyway,
I don't think he's going off the podium. Like, I remember the podium used to be quite low, and now they actually managed to build something like that. It kind of looks like podium.
So we get an update on the points. Is 59 NLR, CPI 40. So an emphatic victory, whether Frankis' penalty is lifted or not. But as we say, Erpik took the win from Axel. Erpik with a great drive, really. Hecht, Razorback, terrific drive to get up to P4, starting and qualifying on those medium tyres. Then we have Frankis, Jendrik, Abzi, Neymar, and unfortunately we lost Noah and Phelan early on. Let me say, Phelan a race to forget tonight, but he'll be congratulating his teammates for a well-deserved victory, and it is NLR go up to 5-1 on their 5 versus 5 series. Do make sure that you tune in for our esports event, where NLR are looking to make up for a very poor start of the tournament. And it's a 10 race league, that championship, I guess you would call it, that they're taking, and Yeah, they didn't have the best of starts, but they look to make a much better run of it. In our second race on Sunday at 3 p.m. UK time, we're doing races when you have to make do without a real life race at the weekend. So we always want to make sure there's racing every weekend. Ivan, have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Quite interesting race. Uh, they plenty of overturns, much more better than most of modern F1 races nowadays. In real life, in real life, of course. Uh, yeah, I enjoyed especially in Axel and Neymar trading punches,
Yep.
but yeah, the contact had to come. If it did, I will be very surprised. Not because of driving standards, but basically it was like hard racing on the edge, and those things happen. But yeah, great race for NLR. At the end, obviously taking the fifth win, as you said, and
Yep.
as I said before the race, Razorback profited going on mediums.
Yes, that did
For
work
the
out well, didn't it?
Yeah, and Ascari took a few victims, so I think my predictions were right, so I'm happy.
No, absolutely. It was very good. Very pleased to see NLR pick up another win, and very graciously congratulated by the CPI guys. Thank you to CPI for taking part, for joining in this team versus team battle. Thanks very much, Ivan, for your participation, for giving my voice a rest tonight. It's been nice to have a co-commentator. I've had to do a lot of races without one, so I hope to have you back in the combox again soon. Thank you to Harley and all the guys at NLR for setting this up and sponsoring all of the work that goes into providing this evening's racing. Please make sure that you've liked the video and subscribed to the channel. It's a way of saying thank you very much to everybody. If you do want to thank the commentary team, I'm sure that we'd be grateful for you buying a drink or liking us or following us on Twitter. But all the same, it's been a really good evening of racing, and thank you very much to everybody. And we will catch you on the next race day.